Let's talk about contactless payments. So, if you are selling online or you're selling in a brick and mortar capacity, you got to really at some point think about contactless payments, especially if you're trying to really boost the revenue in a very consistent manner. Okay. So, in today's conversation, I want to give you a quick guide to contactless payments so you know what you're getting yourself into. Let me first define for you what a contactless payment system is, or let's just say what the process really entails. Okay, so what's contactless payments and how does it work? Let's have a quick conversation about that. So, if you think about contactless payments, I want you to think about convenience. I want you to think about speed, and I want you also want you to think about security. Let's say data safety. Okay, so basically, contactless payment systems allow consumers to purchase products or services using a debit card, credit card, or a mobile wallet without physically inserting or swapping a card into a point of sale device, handing a card to staff, signing their names, or entering PINs. So you can see that this is really about convenience and it's also about speed. Okay. So, also called a tap to pay or a tap and go, most contactless POS devices use near field communications, so NFC technology, to establish a connection with each customer's card or mobile device. So everything is happening in the background, really. So, but everything is actually supported by NFC technology. Okay. So the cool thing is that contactless payments are simple, fast, secure, and touch free. So those are touch free ways to pay in person using a payment card, mobile wallet, or a payment enabled wearable. So this can be, for instance, a smartwatch or a fitness tracker. And with Tap and Go, you simply tap or hold your card or device on the merchant's payments reader to complete the transaction. So think about that. This is actually pretty good from a consumer point of view, right? So consumers can actually check out faster. They don't have to wait in line, and it this also improves your revenue, your bottom line too, because as a merchant, sorry about that. As a merchant, if you actually instill an extra layer of speed in your checkout process, that's more revenue for your business. So let me go a little more granular here. So if you think about Tap and Go, how does it work? How does Tap and Go really work? So if you think about Tap and Go works quickly and seamlessly today, thanks to an innovation dating back decades, really, and that's RFID. So radio frequency identification. This technology started actually in when it comes to warehousing, like when it comes to inventory management. But nowadays, RFID has actually penetrated other industries too. So RFID is a technology that uses radio waves to transfer data. So the idea was born during World War II as a way to detect whether approaching airplanes were friends or foes. Okay, so today's cars typically use a version of RFID called Near Field Communication, or NFC, which really operates at a higher frequency and allows for a faster data transfer, but only at close distances, let's say a few inches. Okay, so payment cards, mobile wallets, and other wearables contain a tiny antenna that relays the account information to the merchant terminal. So this is kind of cool, okay? And one thing I want to say here is that basically, if you're thinking about contactless payments, everything started like actually 30 years ago, like in 1995 all the way to 1998, and it started in South Korea. Actually, that's when the whole technology started, like for real, in terms of mass communication, mass consumerism, if you will. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that you have the possibility to actually use it nowadays in all sectors of the economy. Actually, not just in in one or two. Okay, now how do you know if your card is contactless? Well, you actually know your payment card is contactless if it has the contactless indicator. So four curved lines printed somewhere on it. So most cards issued today by major banks are actually contactless by default, while cards with magnetic stripes for swiping or slowly being phased out entirely. So any mobile wallet is capable of making contactless payments. So this is really good in terms of flexibility, if you think about it. So if you are a merchant, okay, and I don't care what kind of industry you're in, you want to really accept contactless payments, okay? Whether you're doing online or offline, it's just better for you to accept contactless payments because you're improving your revenue avenues big time, okay? And there are actually many benefits for accepting contactless payments. You have faster transaction, you have greater customer satisfaction, you have improved operational efficiency, okay? So those are the top three benefits that you can really envision. So when I say a faster transaction, customers don't need to enter a PIN or provide a signature when making a payment at a contactless POS device. This allows you, okay, to actually process more transactions faster and reduce customer wait times. And in terms of greater customer satisfaction, you have more convenient and faster transactions lead to more satisfied customers, right? Who in turn are more likely to return and use their cards or mobile wallet more frequently. And that's what you want. You want to encourage customers to actually use their plastic more often, right? And you also have improved operational efficiency, so speedier transactions reduce the time that it takes cashiers to process transactions. Okay, this is kind of cool. And now consumers also benefits from they also benefit from contactless payments systems because you have speedy, convenient payments. So there is no need to swipe or insert cards anymore, enter pins, or even sign. And you also have the fact that this is a great alternative to cash and cards with a mobile wallet. So no more need to carry those items to actually make purchases. So you have lots of possibilities. Okay. Now it's important to understand that you can you can tell where contactless payments are accepted. Basically, if you see the contactless payments symbol, the same indicator with a circle around them, okay, and a hand holding a card on the merchant's electronic payment terminal, device, or card reader, or on signage near the front door or checkout. So the payment terminal may also simply say tap, swipe, or insert card to pay, indicating that contactless payments are available. So this is something to really think about, okay? But there are also a low cost alternative. So the same technology that turns your smartphone into a payment device can also turn the merchant's smartphone into an acceptance device. So with tap on phone, no additional hardware is required, only an app. Customers simply hold their card or phone near the merchant's phone to make the payments. So this is kind of cool. And tap on phone currently live in more than 115 markets in this world was initially targeted to small businesses and micro merchants. Okay, so this is really cool, and nowadays it's really growing like crazy. So if you think about contactless payments, you have to understand that it's not just about safety, but it's also about health. It's also about what I call it's also for hygienic reasons. Okay, so in addition to being faster and more convenient, contactless technology is the most hygienic of all in-person payment options because it doesn't require any direct contact at the point of sale. If you remember, like during COVID a few years ago, a lot of retail stores were kind of scared about contact, right? And for good reasons. So contactless payments were pretty good at that time and are still good now. Okay, because there is no need to pass cards between consumers and merchants, tap pins into keypads, or use styluses handled by multiple consumers. So this is kind of cool. And the payments are also safe, actually. contactless payments are really safe. I mean, they're safe. When you tap to pay, your card or device never leaves your hand, reducing the risk of loss and eliminating the need for physical contact, which was actually important a few years ago and is still important today. And when you pay with a contactless card, what happens here is that the embedded EMV chip encrypts your account information so your data cannot be stolen. And when you pay with your smartphone, the card stored in your mobile wallet is also tokenized, meaning the number on your card has been replaced with a random number, so the merchant never sees or stores your actual account information, lowering the risk of your information being stolen in case of a data breach. So this is kind of cool from a flexibility point of view if you think about it. So contactless transactions with your phone are also secured by the biometrics required to authenticate yourself on your device, your fingerprint or face ID, and cryptograms or one-time codes that are generated for every transaction. So something to really think about. So how do you make a contactless payment? So basically, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a merchant or a consumer, it's important to understand how things work from a granular point of view. So the contactless payment symbol on POS terminals indicates that the merchant accepts contactless payments. So the wave-like symbol resembles the Wi-Fi icon, except that it's positioned horizontally instead of vertically. So let me explain to you how to make contactless payments using either a card or a mobile device. So let me first talk about let's talk about contactless payments using a card, right? So tap to pay. So credit or debit card enabled for contactless payments display actually the payment symbol, the contactless payment symbol on the face of the card. So when the contactless POS device signals the payment prompt, your customer should hold the card should hold the card 1 to 2 inches over the contactless symbol on the terminal, and the system will then accept the contactless payment details and approve or reject the transaction. And if the payment is approved, the contactless POS reader will play an audible tone, and if payment is declined, the system will indicate that the transaction is not approved. So you always know actually. So the customer can choose an alternative form of payment, such as using a different card or paying with cash. So you always have this flexibility and this accountability in place. So that's for contactless payments using a card, tap to pay. Let's talk about contactless payments using a mobile device. So to enable contactless payments on their smartphones, smartwatches, fitness trackers, or other mobile devices, consumers first have to link their credit cards to a payment app, also called a mobile wallet. So at the point of purchase, the customer holds the mobile device over the contactless POS reader near the contactless symbol. So depending on the mobile wallet being used, some consumers with a mobile phone will need to authenticate themselves with a phone's fingerprint or face sensor. Those using a smartwatch or fitness band typically don't need to do this. You also have, so the contactless payment reads the payment details and either accepts or declines the transaction. If the payment is approved, the contactless POS device will display a check mark and or play an audible tone. If payment is declined, the contactless POS reader will indicate that the transaction is not approved. So the customer, same thing, the customer can choose an alternative payment form, such as using a different card or paying with cash. So you always have that flexibility. So the thing is, you are able to accept all major types of payments, okay? I mean, when you go with contactless payments, you are really giving yourself more flexibility if you think about it that way, okay? And so how do you set up and tap and go actually? So tap and go, I think I've already said that before, remains an automatic option. So this process is automatic with a contactless enabled payment card. So with a smartphone, you must first add your card to your phone's wallet app and open the app and follow instructions for adding your card. And typically, that means inputting your name, card number, expiration date, and security code. So once your bank verifies the information, which should take seconds, it will be added to your wallet, and you can add multiple cards to your wallet, but designate one as your default, right? So although some contactless payment companies lock you into their technology, you are able to choose one that accepts all of the most popular types of traditional and contactless payments. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to have a system that allows you to accept payments such as cash, checks, credit cards, debit cards, prepaid cards, gift cards, EBT cards, custom tenders, and also Alipay. By the way, I mean credit card and debit card are the most popular payment methods. Many cards are already contactless enabled, and many more are being issued by banks and credit unions with contactless payments capabilities, so that they can be simply waived over a device for a payment. In addition, almost all cards can be added to a mobile wallet, including Apple Pay, Google Pay, and even Samsung Pay. Okay, so this is pretty good from a flexibility point of view. So if you think about contactless payments, you have to understand that this technology is not just being deployed when it comes to a regular commerce. Okay, you use it in other fields too. For example, contactless technology is making digital commerce faster, safer, and simpler in several ways. So with tap to add, you can tap your card on your phone to provision it into your mobile wallet or store it on file with a merchant's app or e-commerce wallet. So this is kind of cool because it gives you more flexibility. It gives you also more accountability in terms of your budget. Okay, so you know how to really manage your your money and shopping for that matter, like more efficiently. Okay, and so tap to activate eliminates the need for calling your bank or going to an ATM to activate your new or reissued card. So you can see that. So you have tap to add, tap to activate. You also have tap to verify. By the way, all of those I'm telling you, there are contactless technology sort of derivatives, if you want to call it that way. So tap to verify. I was telling you a little earlier. This process confirms that you are in possession of your card when using your mobile wallet, bank app, or merchant app, delivering more peace of mind without requiring email verification or one-time passcodes. Tap to Pay replicates the easy of in-store tapping with e-commerce. So if you are shopping online, you can tap your card against your phone to complete your transaction without having to tap in your card information. And you can also save your card on file for future purchases. So this is really cool. And with tap to send or receive, you can actually simply tap your card or mobile phone against someone else's to complete the transaction for peer-to-peer payments. No need to search for their handle or type in their name. So this is really good. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about contactless payments. Okay, I spoke about the history of it, the application, the trends, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.